is right. Hello and welcome to episode 17 of W.A.D.R Respect, a special episode, Daniel, because tomorrow is the big day, isn't it?
It's massive.
It's a massive day. So this is going to be basically an Origin preview with a splash of your boy Daniel, Twal. We'll get into a little bit later, but as always, I'd like to start, not as always, but I would love to start. I'd love to start with a round of applause for Twal. Mum, if you want to clap as well. Seriously, what a moment for the man. We'll get into that later. As always, brought to you by the Village Sports Store, Balmain, home of the Oracle, one of the great sporting analysts that has ever touched the earth, Daniel, I believe. But anyway, straight into the headlines. And my boys get up on you once again, Daniel. It was a demolition. It was a smashing. It was a close game at the start, but then, Jesus Christ, give us a sniff. And we just ran away with it. Just want to say, Jonah Pezzett. That's all I'm going to say. And I want to say another thing. I'm going to say Will Warbrick. He is turning into one of the premier wingers of the game.
Oh my gosh.
Daniel, my close friends know I had been saying Will Warbrick's name for the last 2 years now. I said, remember the name. Remember this kid's name. Coming from the Sevens, a gold medalist, a Kiwi all-star, and he's performing. What were your thoughts on your team's performance, Daniel?
I would say last week we talked about it. It was as expected.
Yeah,
the performance. I don't know what we like. I went into that game with thinking, you know, I'm going to support the team, but we're definitely not winning this game.
So you're a realist.
I would say I was definitely a realist, which I'm normally
more optimistic. More so optimistic.
But it was just, we lack so much at the moment. If Stafford Toa was playing in the 6, I don't know what they expect our kicking game to look like. There wasn't much. There wasn't anything to take away from this game besides Alex Twal scoring. Alex Twal scored a try, congratulations. But what are we looking at during the week, during the next 2 weeks, because we haven't bye this week, that's going to help us improve? Nothing.
Well, that's the thing. The reaction to the 12 try was obviously deserved, necessary. Was it a little bit over the top? Never.
It was like we won the grand final.
It was like you won but you basically that's the biggest thing that's happened in West Tigers history in the last 4 years. But no, Daniel, on the game, obviously we smashed you. But it's all about the Tigers. I don't know how I'm going to feel as a Melbourne Storm fan as being the one that conceded the Alex Twal try.
Kind of overshadowed Will Warbrick scoring 4.
Yeah, no one's talking about Brick's 4 tries, but I think that what's his name, Alex Twal, being that Melbourne Storm fan, it had to happen to someone. And
it's a bit embarrassing.
It's one of those things where you just don't think it's going to happen to you or it's going to affect you, but it does. I don't know how I'm going to live with it. Obviously, as a Lebanese brother, I'm okay with it. But thank Jesus Christ that Andrew Voss was on the call.
Yeah, it's good.
It was a great call from him. And not only was it great from him, he did a great job to mute Michael Ennis as much as possible. I think any other commentator, Ennis, would have taken over and ruined the whole moment. But Vossi did a great job. Vossi did a sensational job. I mean, that's going to ring. It's similar to the Warren Smith call in the South Roosters game, Reynolds. You can take me now. I've seen it all. I'm putting this Alex Twal call along the same lines. But thank God, as I said, Andrew Voss was on the commentary. He really handled Michael well. Just want to touch on the Alex Twal effect. After Alex Twal scored his first try, lost his try scoring virginity, it helped a lot of other front rowers score over the weekend. Now,
especially
Cronulla, it was a field day. Tom Hazelton, Cronulla Sharks, scores his first, along with another bunch of front rowers. Now, if you had a multi on these front rowers, gamble responsibly, you'd be living. I'd be booking a trip to the European summer. I'll rattle a few off. Hamlin Llewellyn, Jack Williams, Makatoa, Ogden, Nat Butcher. Great week to be a prop. All number 10s, all number 8s. A lot of locks scoring as well. Cam McInnes scored. Curtis Morin for the Bulldogs scored. Forwards, yes, but not front rowers. It was a great week to be a prop, Daniel. Anything you wanted to touch on?
When Twal got the ball, it was like he didn't know what to do. He panicked.
Well, and that says a lot. He was facing the wrong way.
He
was facing the other try line.
He just fell. He just fell on it. But just to touch on the Tigers, like I think we need to try Laurie in the halves. Just like why not? You know, what's stopping? Like Toa is leading up to this round. Was having great performances in the centres.
Yeah.
And then we shift him to the halves. I don't know why.
Forced move.
I don't know what Dane Laurie has done to Tim Sheens or Benji or anything because seems like there's no chance of him getting picked or even being in the squad.
Ever.
He'll probably leave the club, which I think like he's not going to play fullback because we're Buller, but just put him at 6, see how we go. I thought De Silva did all right in his debut, but once again,
how about the eyebrows on that man?
it's not really what we need. It's not really what we need at this moment.
The eyebrows?
No. A hooker coming through. Why do we need that? We need a half. Get a half in there. Get some experience on him so they can play next year.
I'm sure he's played a bit of half.
Well, he won't be playing for halves for the West Tigers, I'll tell you that.
Okay, well. Moving on, Daniel. Origin D-Day. Tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow is his day. So many things riding on this game. Freddie and Brenny's future being one of them. But I am confident. I'm very confident. I have faith in Mitchell. Do you have faith in Mitchell?
I do. I do have faith in Mitchell.
The only thing that scares me is Suncorp Stadium.
I saw a thing, and I agree with it 100%. If Mitchell Moses wins this series at halfback, next year's conversation, next year's headache, is it going to be, is Moses in the halves? It's going to be, who's Moses in the halves with? Cleary or Luai? If Mitchell Moses wins this series, brings us back from 2-0 down and wins a game at Suncorp, he should be a lock to play next year.
Well, like we heard the other week, Daniel, the Oracle, what a show that was. He said that as long as Nathan Cleary is on this earth, he will be the 7 for the New South Wales Blues. Now, for me personally, I think as long as he's on this earth and being the 7, I think, and what we've seen, especially the Game 1 team, Jerome Luai will be the 6. As long as Cleary's the 7, Jerome Luai will be the 6. In Game 1, we didn't see that change. We didn't see Nico at 6. We didn't see Cody Walker at 6.
That's Game 1.
Well, and that's when you roll the dice. Game 1's where you roll the dice. Especially losing the series the year before, the unlosable series, Game 1 is where you roll the dice.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if Mitchell Moses wins this series...
You're going to play him at 6.
Well, how can you take him out of the halves if he wins this series after being 2-1 down, no Latrell, injury riddled, and then he goes and wins 2 games in a row?
Well, the concept of a Cleary Moses Haas, it turns
I don't think it'll work.
It doesn't work, but it turns me on. But like I said, in Game 1, you'd think they'd roll the dice. Luai is performing, and I think if Moses was to win this series, I think Luai plays the series of his life as well. I don't think Moses.
I think Luai will play well.
So it's like a 2-horse race. It's a 2-horse race down at Rand McDaniel. As I said, I'm confident, but the only thing that scares me is the Suncorp Arena. Now, Billy Slater came out during the week in his press conference, in his media, and said that he's been to Super Bowls, he's played in grand finals, and he said nothing beats the Suncorp atmosphere. I'm worried for our boys. I'm very scared.
That's crap.
I'm very scared. Maybe it's a ploy from good old Billster, but I think people are forgetting that the Moses and Tedesco connection. Obviously, playing a lot of football at your beloved West's Tigers.
I've heard about that, and I think it's irrelevant. People are saying they're best mates, so they'll play well together. That means nothing. They played together ages ago. It means nothing. I'm not saying they're going to play bad, but I don't think playing games together in 2017, 2018, not even.
Lifelong friends, Daniel. Obviously, Mitch went to James's Bucks party in Vegas. We all saw that. They're great mates. I think it's like putting me and you in the halves.
Yeah, but I would say it's not even in the halves. They're not even in the halves, mate.
Well, yeah, true.
I think...
But I wanted to add, I think Tedesco will play a better game than Cleary, than in Game 1 with Cleary at half.
Okay. I think the biggest thing that really frustrated me in Game 1 was how the year we pumped them, what was that, 2021? 2019, sorry. Trebojevic was so lethal. No, 21. Trebojevic was so lethal because he was sweeping from side to side. He was involved every...
Playing that second fullback role.
In Game 1 this year, Look, how many times did they go to his edge? That's what makes him so dangerous. The fact that he's like, the defensive line looks up and they think, well, what's Turbo doing? He's supposed to be on the other side, and then it's just an instant threat.
Yeah.
If we need to do that, we need to use both edges. In game one, we went to Crichton and Bizza every single time.
Well, there's that combination conversation. They went to that left edge because Luai, Crichton, Martin came on and Bizza. And I think having that threat Turbo, all you're looking at is Turbo, especially when Latrell's not in the side. When Latrell was in that side in that 21 series, you don't know you don't know where to look. You don't know where to look. You've got Trell there, you've got Turbo there, too many things to worry about. With all due respect, if it's Turbo and Crichton, I'm going straight to Tom Trbojevic.
But it doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying if Turbo's playing right centre, and then to play the ball, fourth tackle's 10 metres out on the left side, and the Queensland line looks up and Turbo's in there, they're thinking like it throws you off because you're thinking, what is he doing here?
Well, there was talks during the week that they're going to swap the wingers. They're going to swap Bizza and Adokar, so it might be a Trbojevic Bizza combination. So that will help them go more to that edge because Crichton's not there. Hopefully, hopefully it doesn't matter how we win. Hopefully we win. I think Damien Cook has to come off the bench. I think Reece Robson is one of the great defenders of the game in the middle, bigger body. I think he'll set the tone early. He'll take most of that early rush load from the Queensland pack, and then in comes Tedesco. In comes Damien Cook. Speed around the ruck, quick play the balls from your man Steph. Cam Murray, if he comes off the bench, even quicker play the balls from him. He's got some of the best quick play the ball speed of the competition. And that leads me to my prediction, Daniel. I'm tipping the New South Wales Blues by 1 point.
By a point. Who's going to kick a field goal? Money Mitch.
Our man, Mitchell Moses. 13-12 final score. 13-12 final score. It's going to be a lower scoring match, Daniel. You know why?
Why?
Game 1, 16 penalties. The penalty count was 10-6 to New South Wales. I think Ashley Klein's refereeing this game. They're going to say to him, Jared Maxwell, the head of refereeing, whoever it is, don't care. They're going to say, Ashley, 16 penalties is not good enough. I'm tipping an 8 to 10 penalty match, maybe a 6 to 8 penalty match. And that will make, in this case, the game much more free-flowing. The ball will be in play a lot more. Tired bodies everywhere. More errors, less tries, in my opinion. And this will mean a defensive game plan that I hope New South Wales are looking to execute. Defense. Will overplay any other game plan. And that's why I think New South Wales will win this game 13-12. So if I'm a gambling man, which I'm not, I just lied straight to your face, Daniel. I'm going the unders. In the points, I'm thinking a low penalty game, free-flowing, tired bodies, 13-12, New South Wales Blues, Mitch Moses field goal. What have you got?
I've gone, obviously I'm going back to Blues.
Why?
I've gone because I'm a Blues supporter and I genuinely believe in our team.
Yep.
I genuinely believe. I've gone Blues 20-12.
20-12?
20-12. I think it'll be 14-12 due to a penalty goal at some point and then
a late try.
Stefano Utukamanu dagger.
Wow.
Crashes over under the sticks.
Yep.
Yeah. I think I don't know why. I can just see if the Blues win this game, Stefano will score a try. I don't know why I'm seeing it. I'm seeing like the low camera angle.
Maybe it's because of the hat you're wearing.
On Stefano rising, crashing over under the sticks. Short ball from whoever the hooker is at the time, Cook probably. Straight over, and look, and the commentary will be saying, now we hit the game 3 when he crashes over for that try.
All right, Daniel, let's move on to
That's not ridiculous.
And
to say that.
we'll start off, we've got one take this week. I'll start off with mine, is that the West Tigers will win this week.
It's a bye.
Yes, the Tigers have the bye. They will win this week. Anyway, our real take, Daniel, both of us, we said it, we just mentioned it. New South Wales will win game 2, and albeit going to win the series. Blues in 3. The Blues will win in 3. I said it again. I said it last week. I'll say it again. Last week, I did mention that the Blues will win because the spark is back, and that spark is Latrell Mitchell. What happens? Latrell Mitchell is ruled out again.
Frustrating.
He's ruled out on I think it was a Tuesday. He was ruled out on Tuesday.
It was very early.
He was ruled out on Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday.
He was ruled out on Thursday.
That's what annoys me because if Latrell Brad Fittler has to be the first coach in Origin history to pick a player that's injured. That isn't playing. Like,
Yeah.
how many games did Latrell miss for South? He hasn't played since before game one.
Before game one.
Right?
Yep.
And then they pick him again. How do you know he's like? I can't believe. Like, I understand why you would pick him in terms of circumstances, but surely you got a bit of insight into the injury that's going to make you think maybe I should, pick a Campbell Graham in the extended squad. Pick a
That's why I picked Stephen Crichton.
But I don't know how has Campbell Graham fallen so much in the pecking order. He's
I don't
fourth
get it.
selection now. But what frustrates me is they ruled him out on the Thursday. If you're ruling him out on the Thursday, 6 days out of game 2, that means that his injury is pretty bad. Because if you assessed him and thought, look, maybe we'll see how he goes, maybe he'll be okay, you'd be waiting till Tuesday night to rule him out.
Well, I understand that it's you have to rule him out early so you can train with Crichton in the centres.
Just train with him anyway.
Train with Crichton in the centres. Say Latrell's playing, and then fuck Queensland on the night before. On Origin Eve, say Latrell's out. That's going to fuck them mentally.
But it's so frustrating because the fact that he got ruled out 6 days before means that there's his injury is zero chance of being fit, okay.
Yeah.
And then they've gone and picked him, and then you see this video of Greg Alexander at camp with the injured players, and Brad Fittler's like, I'm a bit worried about him at training, and Greg Alexander goes, I think we'll be right. 6 hours later that night, he's ruled out.
Have you seen Brandy's TikToks?
That was one of them.
Yeah. I think, look, Brandy, all for it, mate, but just add a bit of emotion to your TikToks. He's giving us a great insight to camp.
It's very awkward.
It's very awkward. Like, it feels like I'm not supposed to be watching it. Like, do the players even know him, personally? Or is he just floating around?
The Stefano one, he's holding the camera. It's Stefano's 2 feet taller than him. It's the most awkward thing you'll ever see.
It's awkward, but Brandy's one of the boys, obviously. And he's a gun. He's a gun. Anyway, Daniel, is that all you've got on the New South Wales match?
Well, I think, like I said, just the general threat of Trbojevic. It's like in game 1, it was like he wasn't even playing. I'll be honest. How many times, 90% of our attack was down the left edge.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. Addo Carr barely got any ball either. But I just think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago with the Oracle. We need to play a New South Wales brand of footy, not a Penrith Panthers brand of footy.
It'll help.
And I think it'll help now that Mitchell Moses is in the squad. But what scares me most is that we're going to play a Penrith Panthers game of footy, and Freddie's going to say, Mitch, you just have to adapt to it. And it's just going to, Mitch, all Mitch is going to do is do his same kick down the field to the corners, drive it down, and then we're just going to try and keep him down and see if we can force a mistake.
Stop putting this negative energy into the universe, Daniel.
I'm saying that's what we can't do. That's what we can't do.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
I'm nervous. And that's not ridiculous, where this week Joel's going to take us in the midst of Bet Hunt requesting a release and actually offering to pay to leave the St. George Illawarra Dragons.
It's a shocking situation.
$150,000.
Cash.
He's going to take us through his top 3 NRL contract backflips in recent history.
That is right, Daniel. After Ben Hunt said off to the St. George Dragons, let's go through the top 3 backflips we've seen, contract backflips that is, in the NRL in its history. Number 3, Greg Inglis, GI. Now, this man flipped on the Brisbane Broncos to join his beloved South Sydney Rabbitohs. After Storm's salary cap drama in 2010, Greg Inglis announced he would be a Bronco for future years, handshaking on a lucrative deal in August 2010, announcing it to family, close friends and teammates. But in steps Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe came in and offered the future premiership winner $1.8 million across 3 years, where he would eventually win a premiership with his South Sydney Rabbitohs. And wow, what a backflip that would be. Greg Inglis now going down as one of the greatest South Sydney Rabbitohs of all time. Number 2, James Tedesco. After playing just 25 NRL games for the West Tigers, the Raiders had signed Teddy to a monster 3-year deal valued at $650K a year. $650K a year for a player that's only played 25 NRL games. What a gamble from the Canberra Raiders. But 7 days after putting pen to paper, Tedesco got cold feet, no pun intended, informing Canberra he'd be staying at his junior club, the Tigers, under being influenced by the West Tigers great Robbie Farah. He'd leave that dump, though. He'd leave that dump of a football club at the end of the 2017 season to sign and with the Roosters and win back-to-back premierships in the year 2018 and 2019. Sorry about that one, Daniel. And number one, you look shocked. Daly Cherry Evans. Now, his Daly Cherry Evans may as well rhyme or be associated with the word backflip. After entering the league and becoming a premier half of the competition, he was offered, at the time, the biggest contract the game has ever seen, a 4-year deal valued at $1 million per season for the Gold Coast Titans. 2 months after signing with the Gold Coast Titans, he was ready to move with his family, ready to situate in surfers paradise. DCE announced on the 3rd of June he'd be a Sea Eagle for life, signing an 8-year deal, bringing in $1.3 million per year. Here comes the money, Daly Cherry Evans, Sea Eagles for life, and I tell you what is the one thing the Titans have needed in this past 10 or so years? A halfback, the one that got away.
Look, I agree with number one. I couldn't see Daly Cherry Evans in a jersey that isn't maroon in colour.
And white.
And look, that wraps another edition of With All Due Respect.
Episode 17's done and dusted, Daniel. Tomorrow, wow. Ladies and gentlemen, just breathe. Seriously. Fuck. New South Wales. Please, God. I'm sick of losing. I'm sick of losing winnable matches. Well, this is the impossible. Boys, what, Daniel?
Maybe that's what we need.
What's in impossible? I'm possible. Let's go, Blues. Let's trot.